Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Matt Chat. It's my favorite show right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, because we hand the show over to our patrons to submit video questions that me and Larson will then answer. It's oh so exciting, and you can participate at the $20 mark. $20 a month gets you in on the Matt Chat goodness. You can send us your video questions if you just go to the Patreon first. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. It's a great way to support Going In Raw. Well, we've got a lot of questions. Today is SummerSlam Day.
Yeah, it is exciting.
We're going to be doing our live reactions right here at the channel.
Later in the day, yeah.
Let's get into these questions. First up, who's our first question from?
Thayer Thabata. Let's see what Thayer Thabata has to say.
Okay.
That WWE is planning on making big money offers to the Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny Omega. My question to you guys is simply, should they take the WWE offer, or should they just stay in the Indies for the rest of their career and in New Japan for the rest of their career and just become legends that way? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Thayer Thabata.
Thank you, Thayer.
They should take all the money. Absolutely. I think, okay, I'll put it this way. I'm going to break it down. I would be surprised if the entire elite team of the Young Bucks and Kenny, and then, of course, Cody, if they all came in together. I firmly believe the Young Bucks are coming to WWE. Kenny Omega, I'm not sure about. I still feel like there's a lot left for him to do, and he seems like the kind of guy who that matters to him. Getting across his vision in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's probably already making a grip of money with New Japan, so I'm not sure that would be the end-all, be-all for him.
Yeah.
I do think the Young Bucks have pretty much done everything they can do on the non-WWE scene. At a certain point, you risk, I don't know, I'm not going to make this comparison, but like, for example, the Briscoes, feels like they did everything they could do in the non-WWE scene a long time ago, and so they're, they have a good career, they have a great career. But what else can you really do? So the Young Bucks would not surprise me if they took the payday, got a schedule that's favorable to them, that's comparable to what they do now, and did that. Kenny, I could see maybe in 2020, but 2019, I would be kind of surprised if he joined the WWE.
Yeah.
Cody, I would definitely be surprised.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. You mentioned the schedule, and I think that's one thing WWE is pretty particular about. The Hardys, who returned a couple years back, we heard that they wanted a lighter schedule, considering their age and the number of injuries they've amassed during their long and decorated career. You would think they would be given that luxury of working a lighter schedule. Everything we've heard seems to indicate that WWE didn't really back off that much.
They might give it to Daniel Bryan.
Remains to be seen. Apparently,
they've been pulling him from shows.
Let me finish. One of the sticking points between negotiations we heard between WWE and Rey Mysterio was the same thing. They wanted him on the road full time. Going back as far as Kurt Angle, we'd heard several times that there was negotiations about bringing Kurt Angle back, but they wanted him to work a full-time schedule, and his body couldn't handle it. They seem intent on having their wrestlers work a full-time schedule. Now, I know the Young Bucks are wildly popular, wildly successful. They will bring eyes to the product for sure, but I just feel like their tendency is to say, we want you out there working 200 days a year, or no, essentially. Here's another thing. Kenny, what's one of his catchphrases? Change the world. I think he would probably feel like he'd be able to do that far more working with New Japan in terms of changing the world of professional wrestling, helping New Japan's expansion into North America and worldwide. I mean, they're never going to be New Japan. They're never going to be exactly in the same playing field as WWE, but they're already the number 2 wrestling promotion in the entire world. They'll solidify that case, and they can only make inroads in terms of garnering new fans based on the quality of their product. So Kenny, I can totally understand if he never went. I can understand why. I know he said he wanted to have a WrestleMania match against AJ Styles, and I'm sure that's still in his head, and that'd be phenomenal. But then again, we saw AJ versus Nakamura at WrestleMania. Kind of not that great.
Yeah, true.
So as far as Cody, I'd be absolutely shocked if he went back at any point in the next 5 years.
Me too.
He seems completely content doing what he's doing.
On the other hand, he's always made a point of keeping on good terms.
Oh yeah. He's
with
never
the
burned any bridges
with the WWE.
Yeah.
I feel also with Cody, there is a lot that he could do. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot he could do. If maybe, who knows? Maybe he's got that itch where, you know, WWE is where he grew up. That's where he came up. That's where, you know, so maybe he's got that thing where he's made his point. Maybe he's made his point. Maybe he said, hey, look, I did all this and I can only get better. And so he'd be willing to come back for a bigger payday.
It depends what his point is. If his point is I can succeed on my own terms without you, yeah, you can say he's done that. But if he has grander ambitions that we're not aware of, then he might not be content to just say, all right, I've done what I've done. Now it's time to go back.
Yeah, again, though, grander ambitions, what could you possibly mean? He's been Ring of Honor champion. He's proven his point with All In. Again, I would be shocked, but what more can you really do?
Oh, I don't know.
You know?
I mean, he can still, you know, be the IWGP heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
That's a pretty huge accolade.
That's that's a pretty long road for him, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's in a feud for the U.S. title now.
Yeah, that's true. I would say I would be really surprised if the Young Bucks didn't. I mean, here's the thing.
They're the most likely.
Yeah, definitely. Here's the thing about the Young Bucks as it pertains to the schedule. Number one, you're right. You're right largely. But the idea that they're taking Daniel Bryan off the road to help bolster their case with him, I would think that would mean they would extend that into his next contract as well.
You would hope so, but that's also a special circumstance where it's the health issue.
That's true. That is true.
And it's, you know, we heard that Matt Jackson has potentially has some sort of back injury. Hasn't forced him from wrestling at all that we're aware of.
I would wonder.
I don't know if for healthy wrestlers.
Yeah, I would wonder.
They would accommodate them to that degree.
So we don't know what the deal with Rey Mysterio is going to be. I would wonder if, given how many people they are snapping up, they're signing, if that's one possible reason they'd be more open to a part-time schedule to allow their roster room to breathe a little bit.
Well, if that's the case, let's go all in on an off season for wrestlers. Give them a month off, a month or two off.
I've always wanted that, man.
Heck yeah.
Those people, they need their bodies to rest.
Yep.
Next up, Maya Dope. She's going back to school. Let's see what she has to say.
Hey friendos, it's Mr. Dope's daughter here, and Sunday is SummerSlam, and on Monday is my first day of school. Which one do you think I should be more excited for?
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, Maya. Woo! First day of school. That's exciting. I'll go first. I went first last time.
Yeah.
You go first.
What should she be more excited for?
You can shoot. You don't have to say the other thing that I'm not going to say. What do you really feel?
I mean, school.
Yeah.
First day of school, while I was in elementary school, is always really exciting.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't get like typically speaking, during the summer, like I didn't see my friends as much, you know. Whereas at school, I saw them every day.
Did you not have a bicycle?
I didn't until kind of late. No.
Oh no, that's so sad.
I was like in 5th or 6th grade before I got a bicycle.
That explains so much about you.
You know, like I'd do activities, like baseball.
By yourself?
No, baseball and such, and I'd see my friends.
Okay.
But you know, it wasn't every day. School, I saw my friends every day.
Freedom. It was
Oh,
freedom.
it was. It was great when I finally got one.
I loved it.
So yeah, at school, you can do activities. You get to learn new things.
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Be excited about the first day of school.
Yeah.
Second day, maybe even like the first week.
First week, yeah. Usually it's pretty casual the first week.
After that, it's a grind. After that, it's
You
a
have to
grind.
find the joy in school after that.
Exactly. So yeah, it is a lot of very exciting. Here's one thing, an underrated thing about the first day of school: new equipment, new binders, new backpacks.
Yeah, you get to go out,
new
maybe
clothes.
go shopping for stuff.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So
new school gear, yeah.
absolutely, SummerSlam. Look, SummerSlam's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very
fun,
exciting.
but it's also be a very long day.
Yeah, it's exactly.
So
hopefully the Dope family has some very comfortable couches, and Mr. Dope gets whatever their favorite pizza is, or whatever their favorite
Or snacks,
food.
yes,
Exactly,
yes.
snacks. Exactly, and some donuts maybe.
Oh yeah,
Love some donuts.
I feel like you're set up the menu for our live stream.
Believe that, man. So yeah, but no, school. Man,
First day of school, yeah.
first day of school.
Now, if this was a question between Takeover
and
the first day of school.
Oh, still be school.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a question from the official Going In Raw enforcer, Stevie Bradley. He's got a question about cars.
Cars.
Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Steven, Larson, and all the friendos out there. It is the official Going In Raw enforcer, Stevie Bradley, here with the Matt Chat question. As I sit in my reliable car, ready to start the day, I feel for my fellow Matt Chatter, Patrick Sparks. Got himself a lemon, and I feel bad for him, but it got me thinking on a question. Cars have lemon laws. You know, if it busts, you go back. You can take it back within a matter of time. What if we had this for NXT call-ups? After a few months, we could just go lemon law and take them back to NXT. Who would you lemon law to take back to NXT? Obviously, it's got to be within some time. I'm thinking within a few months. Like AOP, lemon law. Bobby Roode, first when he came out, should have been lemon lawed. Go back to NXT. Let's try again. Let me know your thoughts. Who can we lemon law if this was a thing? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Take care.
Thank you, Enforcer Stevie Bradley.
Thank you, Enforcer. Oh, you go first.
Man. Ooh, I like your answer. I just saw that. A lemon law for an NXT call-up. Oh,
I know. It's there's too many to choose from.
no, it's gonna be Asuka. She's not even on the SummerSlam card. She's not. Bobby Roode, I kind of understand because they brought him up and he was just a gimmick. He was just a gimmick. That
he was a song.
We should have seen that a mile away. We should have seen that when he debuted, and that's something to keep an eye on these days. When he debuted with that glorious theme song, we should have looked at that and said, "How is Vince going to take that?"
That's exactly what I said when he debuted. I said Vince saw his song. It's like, that's his gimmick. He's the glorious guy.
No. When he debuted in NXT,
Oh.
when we heard the song for the first time, man, you're about to rip my head off.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I said when he got called up. I predicted most of this.
Well, I'm talking about back in NXT, man.
Well, we didn't know because his first...
He debuted against Aiden English. It wasn't that difficult to predict. I give you credit. I'll give you credit, which you never give me credit, by the way.
I give you credit all the time. Every time you do something well, design-wise, I say, that looks great, Steve. On air, publicly, so everybody knows. So don't say I don't give you credit for anything, because that's BS.
Fine.
Did we even hear his song the first time he came out to do the promo? That very first promo. Did his song play before that?
They dropped his song before he showed up on TV on their music site.
That's true.
Everybody knew it. We should have known at that moment.
Hold on. Did they drop it before his first match or before his first promo? Because definitely before his first match.
His
when he went out there and dropped that first promo about having CEOs in the front row.
I don't recall if that was prior to or if he had a match before that or not.
No, he didn't. He didn't at all. His first match, we were there for his first match at TakeOver Brooklyn. That was his debut match, wasn't it? Against Almas, I believe so.
I don't know. I know he had some sort of match. I remember there was a spoiler thing where he had a match. Maybe it was on the house show circuit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure his theme song debuted before he had a match, before his promo. I could be wrong. I don't know. In any event, we should have known as soon as they dropped that song that Vince McMahon was going to take the glorious thing and run with it. However, I'm going to say my main answer is Asuka. She went undefeated. They completely built her up to be absolutely dominant. They should have made it so that Mania 35 should have been the undefeated Asuka versus the undefeated Ronda Rousey for, I don't know, an undisputed championship
titles,
or something.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And instead, they took her to WrestleMania. They had her face Charlotte, and they had her lose. And I don't entirely disagree with that decision necessarily because I'm not sure how intriguing both main event scenes on Raw, both women's main event scenes on Raw and SmackDown could have been with two undefeated champions. But, I mean, you see what they do with Brock Lesnar. They can do something with it. So, yeah, to me, it's Asuka. It's absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, her first couple matches with Emma were far too competitive. So, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, we should have got an idea of how it was going to go based on her first match with Emma because it wasn't a squash match. Mm-hmm. And it should have been a squash match.
Yeah.
However, I can't disagree with your answer. I'm going to go with a different make a different case for Ty Dillinger. Now
Lemon.
What?
Lemon.
Oh, yeah, the U2 song. Now, you could easily make the case that his ceiling probably wasn't that high in the main roster anyways, which I'll, to a point, agree with.
Sure.
But he had momentum in NXT. If he had been able to stick around another 4 to 6 months, and yes, I know there was a huge influx of talent on the horizon, still, let him stick around 4 to 6 months in NXT, even if he just gets into a program with Bob Roode and holds the NXT title for one day. A week.
Oh, a day.
Oh, sorry, a week. It'd be a week.
A week?
TV.
A Mustache Mountain-esque title run?
Yeah.
Oh.
That would have done wonders for him. He was on that trajectory. It could have happened. It would have been believable, and Full Sail would have exploded.
Yeah.
And sure, he would brought up to Maine and maybe been a solid mid-carder. But that's a huge improvement over barely being on TV.
Yeah, I know. All right. Your entire scenario is highly optimistic.
Oh, it's incredibly optimistic.
But I'll give it to you. Yeah, Ty Dillinger definitely lemon law, but I don't know. We've talked a lot about what you could possibly do with Ty Dillinger to turn him around. I have no idea, man.
I have no idea.
I have no clue.
None.
Anyways, who's our next question from?
Minnesota Joe.
Oh, I love Minnesota Joe. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, friendos. Minnesota Joe here with another Matt Chat question. Yeah, what I was thinking about this week is I heard about Cain Velasquez in the Performance Center, and you got Ronda Rousey, you got Shayna Baszler, you got all these MMA people starting to come in and become wrestlers, and they're doing really well. My question this week is, what athletes from other sports would you like to come in to WWE and wrestle, or maybe even be on the indie scene, whatever you want? Who's an athlete from a different sport you want to see wrestle? Any athlete. They just got to be alive, even if they're retired. Thanks, friendos. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Minnesota Joe.
Thank you, Minnesota Joe. There's one athlete at the top of my list.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Oh man, I'm so close. I went on the Lakers jersey
Is that what you're
site.
doing right there?
No, I was no. I wanted to get because I want the black jersey.
Yeah.
The LeBron black jersey, but they don't have any. I don't know what's up with that. I don't want the yellow one. It's too bright for me.
Mm-hmm. And you really like purple.
Yeah. No, I don't like purple at all. Man, LeBron James. GOAT.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Total GOAT.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
LeBron James, that's one, and there's probably a huge gap, and then I can think of some other names. D'Angelo Williams had a really good showing and impact that match.
He did.
So if he were to get into wrestling full-time,
yeah,
I'd be into that.
How about this? New tag team. Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Shackton. Tell me you wouldn't die to see
That'd
that.
be pretty funny.
I would die to see that. That would be fantastic.
That would be pretty funny.
Shackton. JaVale McGee managed. JaVale McGee, Lance Stevenson managed by Shaq.
Oh, you need a faction, though. Put Rajon Rondo in there. There you go.
There you go. That's perfect. Oh,
yeah.
Man. Back in the day, get Rasheed Wallace in a faction.
Heck yes, man.
I loved Rasheed.
Oh, man, he was awesome.
Remember him in who's that old ref?
Bavetta? Yeah.
Was it Bavetta?
Jack Bavetta, yeah.
Dick Bavetta.
Dick Bavetta, sorry, yes.
Always going at it.
That was great.
Oh, man.
Do you have any other answers?
No, man.
This LeBron.
JaVale McGee and
JaVale
Lance Stevenson as a tag team.
All right.
Would be great.
Oh, how about
LeBron.
this?
It's LeBron.
Heel Kevin Durant.
Oh, that's a good one too. I like that. That's good. What about back in the day also who's it? Charles Oakley?
Oh gosh.
Scary. Shoot scary.
Rick Mahorn.
Shoot scary. Next up, Christopher Rampersad has a question. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. What is the worst feud in WWE? To me is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I'll see you guys later tonight for the live stream.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher Rampersad.
Thank you, Christopher.
Oh, the worst feud right now.
My answer.
I just saw your answer. I'm not sure I can do better with this.
Well, here, do a little research. I'll do mine. It's Bob Roode and Mojo Rawley. This whole thing kicked off with Mojo going into the loser locker room. You're convinced to go to his locker. I'm convinced that he thinks that he's too good for the loser locker room. Moved the stuff out of loser locker room to like broom closet to somewhere else, and then goes back to loser locker room to insult people in loser locker room. And then Bob Roode, who I'm still not sure, at least that week, wasn't in loser locker room, gets in there. They start brawling. Because the next week, we definitely see Bob Roode not in loser locker room. Mm-hmm. So they spent like 2 or 3 weeks of build for a match, their first one. That was about 6 minutes long. Bob Roode won easily. This last week on Raw, they were involved in a 6-man tag match that lasted that long. Yeah. Bob Roode goes over, glorious DDT.
Yeah, okay.
It's been awful. Why is Bob Roode in a feud
slumming it
with Mojo Rawley?
Slumming it.
Why?
Slumming
like
it.
Mojo, what he was doing with No Way Jose, that was kind of fun.
No, it wasn't, man. It really
wasn't. Gave
wasn't.
Mojo an opportunity. Mojo's decent on the mic. He's all right in the ring. He just needs some sort of repackaging because I can't really take him seriously as a vicious heel.
Yeah,
that's really the problem.
I don't know. I mean, I think with Mojo, I'll put it this way. I think it'd be way easier. Oddly enough, I think Mojo has the ingredients that Ty lacks for a repackage successfully.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll never get past the mid card, but a strong mid card is possible for him.
A transitional heel mid card champion, maybe.
Like, you know how Bray
like
Wyatt,
title.
like Bray Wyatt wears clothes. Mojo needs something where he wears clothes. That's what I don't know. Take that for what you will. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like a jail suit, like a you know, whatever. What do you call
Maybe
those?
just be like a Jim Morrison cosplayer in the Mr. Mojo Rising thing.
Yeah, something like that. Jim Morrison, wasn't that just John Hennigan?
Yeah, kind of.
Wasn't that Jomo? So here's the thing. I can't really beat that answer because it's totally true.
It's a good answer.
It's totally true. I'll say this. I have two other answers that are possibly there. Aiden English versus himself.
Yeah.
Or the lower division tag team thing in NXT.
Oh.
Heavy Machinery, TM61 or the Mighty whatever, and then Street Profits. I don't even know what's going on there, but it's a mess.
I don't know either.
It's an absolute mess. So I'll say all that right there. But no, nothing beats. The worst right now is what is Bob Roode doing? Hanging with Mojo Rawley in the loser locker room.
Doesn't make any sense,
Doesn't make a lick of sense.
No sense.
Next up, we've got a question from Loki. Let's see what Loki has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Loki Richard here, coming at you from your brother room with another Matt Chat question. My question for you today is, what is the best, worst gimmick? Thank you. Have fun with the debate. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Loki.
The henchman for the Freak Legion, Loki.
Yeah.
Ultimate henchman right there.
Give me best, worst gimmick, Steve.
Isn't it Undertaker?
It's a good answer.
It's like one of the best. I was watching a Kevin Nash shoot interview the other day, which I'm prone to do.
Yeah.
And he said
pretty entertaining.
The best character in the history of wrestling is the Undertaker. It's totally true because it's the best gimmick. But it's the Undertaker. Like,
yeah, I know.
You don't really think of that. Like, number one, the Undertaker. What does an actual Undertaker do? Do they just deal with the dead bodies, basically, right? Yeah. Make sure they get into the coffin okay, arrange funeral services, I'm assuming, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, I don't know how supernatural powers comes into play there.
Shouldn't.
But it does in the WWE.
It does.
So that's really bad, but it's awesome. So I'll say Undertaker.
I don't really have an answer that's good enough to beat that. What was Kevin Nash's gimmick as Diesel? Was he a truck driver? Sure didn't seem like it.
He was the truck because he's Diesel.
How could man be truck, though? He's not a transformer.
What is the definition of diesel?
Well, it's a fuel.
Okay, diesel is
a
type of fuel?
Like a semi-truck, I think, operates on diesel fuel.
But it's a variation of fuel, right?
Yeah, because you go to the gas station, you have your unleaded, your 87, your 87, 89, and 91. And then also there's diesel there. Diesel fuel.
But what makes it diesel?
I don't know. I don't know anything about gasoline. I know. Put it in my car runs.
I was just going to
the
take a
extent
look
of my
at
knowledge.
The definition of diesel.
So, was Kevin Nash supposed to be a
variation
diesel gasoline, or is he supposed to be diesel truck?
It's a heavy petroleum fraction used as fuel in diesel engines. So it's a type of oil.
Fuel, gas.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wildly successful, though.
Define wildly.
I mean, he had the title for a year.
I would say it was successful.
Well, for that era, it was pretty darn successful.
The era of 1995 is not a good era.
Yeah, not a good era all around.
Not a good era.
So for that era,
yeah,
it was pretty successful.
Okay, yeah. Whatever that is.
Whatever Diesel was supposed to be. Was he truck driver? Was he truck? Was he man who made gasoline, or was he gasoline?
Didn't his singlet kind of look like the grill of a truck?
Some of it did.
Yeah, so I think he was supposed to be
he
truck.
also had like the tassels on the side of his pants.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen a truck with tassels. He didn't have wheels. Like maybe that was ironic about it because he couldn't go fast.
Oh, he was slow.
He was
super slow.
But I'm telling you, man, go back and watch that Diesel Mabel match. It looks like something out of 205 Live these days.
Oh man,
I'm telling you, great.
Check that out for sure. Next from AO Worm. Let's see what AO Worm has to say.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy AO Worm, another match chat debate. Steve Larson, football season is approaching, so which teams would you compare to what wrestlers? Like, I would compare Kurt Hawkins to the Cleveland Browns, because of the losing record and stuff. Steve, who will be your Patriots? Larson, who will be your Eagles? So on and so forth. All right, guys, take it easy. Too sweet, hearty handshake.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Matt Chat Hall of Fame.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, the gold standard of professional wrestling is the same as the gold standard of the NFL. The New England Patriots, obviously, John Cena.
He's from the area, too.
He's from the area. He's from the New England area, of course, referring to Boston. John Cena is the New England Patriots.
Pretty obvious answer.
The only difference is, of course, John Cena. And I mean, back in the day, he may have cheated to win a little bit when he was a heel, but he hasn't cheated in a very long time. And we know those New England Patriots, one of the reasons I love them so much, they'll cheat at any opportunity. Any opportunity, they will cheat, deflate those balls, superinflate those balls, have intricate listening devices in the loser locker room.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's the New England Patriots. John Cena, for sure. They're the best.
I'm trying to think of some wrestler who embodies the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
Like Lindsay Dorado, perhaps. He flies. Leo Rush.
Just about to say that.
Leo Rush.
Yeah.
It's good.
Leo Rush.
That's good. A 23-year-old piece of gold.
Yeah, Eagles are a pretty young team. Mm-hmm. Coming off their first Super Bowl win. Mm-hmm. Granted, Leo Rush hasn't won any championships yet in WWE. Mm-hmm. But I'll say, sure, Leo Rush.
All right.
What are some other ones? Who's the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, aren't they like one of the most...
they're America's team, supposedly.
America's team. So who's America's... Well, that's like AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ Styles. I'm thinking that too.
I know he's not from Dallas or Texas.
No, he's from Georgia.
He's from Georgia.
Yeah. What about Pittsburgh Steelers?
Tough. The Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah. Steel Curtain.
Steel Curtain.
Sorry.
The Iron Curtain was...
That's a Cold War thing.
That's a Cold War thing. The Steel Curtain.
Steel Curtain defense, yes, in the 70s.
Yeah. Who's big on defense? Who's tough?
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's move on. Okay. Joshua Martinez has a question. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, friendos. Joshua Martinez back this week. So, I was watching an older episode of SmackDown, and there was, I want to say 2008, 2010 range, and I was watching this match with Jimmy Wang Yang, which he was in the Cruiserweight division back then, and probably mid-card, lower mid-card, and I remember being a big fan of his when I was a kid watching that. So I was wondering if you guys have somebody similar that you guys used to be big fans of that was in that mid-card, lower mid-card field, and then they just fell off the face of the earth. I kind of want to see what you guys have in mind. Oh, Larson, also, Jordan Harris Evans. They dirty as heck, but still my favorites.
Thank you, Joshua Martinez. Man, what a great question.
Yeah.
Mid-carders who fell off the scene.
You an answer?
And you liked them. You go first.
All right. I didn't really like this wrestler particularly in real life, but I loved him in a video game. Oh, man. WCW versus NWO World Tour. One of the unlockables was Glacier.
Oh, yeah.
And you couldn't beat me when I was Glacier unless you double-teamed me.
Boy.
Oh. Ooh.
We couldn't double-team you. We couldn't double-team you in...
Yeah,
did they do triple threats in that game?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Maybe we did double-team you. I got the worst of that, though. You guys would. Remember when they had special guest referee? Boy, We need to play that.
Oh, I know.
With a special guest ref.
Yeah, that's a stream that's waiting to happen. You see me get mad. Oof, oof. Anyways, it's Glacier. Glacier in that game was basically unbeatable. It was awesome. He didn't really do much for me in WCW. But, yeah, he just he stopped wrestling or, stopped showing up in WCW, and then you never really heard from him again.
Yeah, I'll go with this. I'll say Canyon. I think he was a lot more popular with us than like with the general audience. I loved Canyon. I think he ended up committing suicide.
I think you're right about that.
Which is an absolute bummer. Because, man, he was so good on the mic. He was. Who better than Canyon?
Man, he was great.
He was fantastic.
He was a great wrestler, too.
So, yeah, if I were ever to pop on an old episode of whatever, WCW or WWE, because he had a stint in the WWE, too, and I saw the Canyon character, I'd probably mark out. And, because he never, ended up... I mean, he sort of died, I think, before podcast became a big thing. He died a little while ago. But, yeah, I always loved Canyon. I thought he was great. I thought he was underutilized, too. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But good question. Next up, we've got another question from DJ Mott. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Steven Larson, it is your Going in Raw sneakerhead DJ Mott here, back with another Matt Chat question. So, last week, Paul Heyman delivered one of the best promos in WWE this year, in my opinion. So going off of the promos, what do you guys, in your opinion, think ruin a promo? Whether it be the week after what happens, or what they do during it, or the duration, or whatever your pet peeves are, I guess, about a promo. What are they? Too sweet, hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, DJ Mott.
Thank you, DJ Mott.
Good question. What can torpedo a promo?
Over-scripting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the huge one for me. When I can tell that whoever's delivering the promo is just either based on poor direction or, just like the logistics of getting someone to script right before the camera starts rolling. They're pretty much just reading lines.
Yeah.
I don't care how good the dialogue is. It takes me right out of it.
Let me ask you this, though, because he kind of brings us up a little bit. Can a really, really good promo be ruined by events
that follow?
I
guess in theory, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite promo of all time is probably CM Punk's pipe bomb, right? I think a lot of people share that as well. Afterwards, some really cool stuff happened. He beat Cena at Money in the Bank. That was pretty great. I think then they did that silly interim title thing. See, after Money in the Bank, it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
Because they did the interim title thing. Cena beat Rey Mysterio, I think. And then title versus title. And
SummerSlam, yeah.
Alberto Del Rio cashed in at SummerSlam on Punk, so that was kind of lame.
But none of that, I think, really affected the quality or the legacy of the pipe bomb promo. In fact, I think we were watching that contract signing that CM Punk and Cena had for their SummerSlam match. That was still great stuff.
It was great. Yeah, there was a lot of great there. Heyman's promo was one of the best of the year. It was followed the next week by him showing his full card and turning on Roman, pepper spraying the crap out of him, and then Brock, the big reveal happened.
Which we suspected would have been the case, but we thought it probably would have been at SummerSlam.
Didn't ruin the promo for me.
Not at all.
I thought it was a good ruse,
Yeah.
I mean, it came together well. So no, I think a good promo is a good promo, and I think it stands on its own, regardless of what happens after the fact. For me, it's like you said, like what can ruin a promo? When somebody forgets their line and just starts saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think. Oh,
here's a little thing that bothers me sometimes. And I heard that Vince doesn't like people, for the most part, doing promos into camera or interviews. So when someone's being interviewed and they don't look at the interviewer and they don't look at camera, they look halfway in between.
Exactly.
And I just think, who you're looking at.
Yeah.
That bothers me a little bit.
Remember when Cass did it? Like one of his last, apparently the promo that might have got him fired, or they got a writer fired, is when they had that weird thing where he was standing like...
with his back to the crowd on the top of the ramp, yeah. Like, who stages
and he
that?
wasn't looking at the camera, he was all looking up, and it was weird. He was all tall and weird. Big Cass. So, yeah, that, and then, crap crowd also.
Yeah.
Like, if a crowd starts wedding you, your promo's dead.
Yeah, no.
I don't care who you are.
Unless you can somehow be one of the few people that can turn that around.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Pretty much any Cena promo is amazing. Let's see here. Next up, Double J. Man, Double J looks like he's seen better days, Larson. I'm kind of curious to what the backstory for his face is.
I know.
Let's take a look.
Steve, Larson, it's your boy Double J, Joe Jensen. Ain't I great? And you can tell by my face that I got colored the hard way, you know what I'm saying? So I want you to power rank your top 5 favorite weapons in wrestling matches. Not the most devastating, just your favorites. The ones you get excited to see. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Swing a beer, peace out.
Thank you, Double J. Ain't he great?
Thank you, Double J.
His face ain't looking. What happened?
I don't know, man. You got busted up a little bit.
I guess so. Sleeping in a parking lot, maybe, and somebody pulled out his car like Shawn Michaels way. I don't know. Did he get into a match at a bar and drop Starship Paint on somebody? Anyways, speaking, he has a question about wrestling weapons here.
Yeah, let's power rank him.
Maybe somebody power ranked him with a weapon. I don't know.
Oof.
Oh, sledgehammer. It's like what Triple H used to get that thing out from under the freaking apron, out from under the ring, and just look at it like he wanted to make love to it.
No, this is what it is. It's the steel chair because it's versatile. It's the chair. You can use it this way. Mm-hmm. You can put it down, drop people on it. You can wedge it between the ropes.
Action. Yeah,
you can do action with it. It's the most versatile weapon, I feel like. It's like you can do a lot of stuff with a ladder, but it's large.
Yeah.
It's cumbersome. It's not easy to move and manipulate.
I hate the ladder because, yeah.
Chair, you can open it, sit it down, someone's face goes into it. It's the steel chair.
Over their head and then bang them, yeah.
It encourages creativity.
Yeah.
It offers the most variety. Mm-hmm. It's the steel chair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good answer. Still, I like the sledgehammer because it's a freaking sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And
that'd be number 2.
You could really open up people with that thing.
What about a spike, a metal spike, like we saw?
Never mind. The spike baseball bat combo from Slammiversary might be my new favorite. Oh, I missed. Ay, que lástima. Oh, Sami Callihan. Next up, TNA for Life has like maybe my favorite question this week about bowling.
Yeah, bowling's great.
See what he says.
What's up, friendos? It's your boy TNA for Life here for another Match Chat question. So, I work at a bowling alley. I know Steve and Larson are pretty into bowling. I think that they said they were in a league at one point. I think that's pretty cool. I want to know, Steve and Larson, if you can make one bowling league team of 5, who would it be? Out of anyone in WWE, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. And you know what? Let's take the Undisputed Era out of it. I don't know if you would have used them or not, but let's just take them out of it. So anyone but the Undisputed Era, who would you put together for a bowling league team of 5? Thank you very much. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Peace out.
Thank you, TNA for Life.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to say this. I like your answer.
First of all, it's a bummer. Undisputed Era can't be our answer.
Oh, because it'd have been that.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely
would.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Imagine getting bowling shirts with this on the back.
You have to
win all the trophies, though.
That's undisputed. here's what I have to say. I think it would be so in Steven Larson book Raw.
Yeah,
we have the True Buds, who are loosely based off of the general atmosphere of the Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and they were big bowlers.
Yeah,
so it would be Harper and Rowan, but not as the Wyatts, not as the Bludgeon Brothers. Dude Harper, good guy Eric would be my and Beefy Dubs.
You need 5 in total, including yourself.
Me, Dude Harper, good
Rowan.
guy Eric, Beefy Dubs, and then one of the original member who's going to be a member of True Buds, Ember Moon. I feel like Ember Moon's a bit on the nerdy side anyways, so I think she'd be a good bowler. Because I think there's sort of a nerdy aspect to bowling a little bit. Kind of, maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Or I could, how about this? I'll do this instead. Me, Rowan, Harper, Otis Dozovich, and the other dude, Tucker Knight.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like they could work well in the bowling gimmick
they could spin
as well.
It.
Yeah.
They could spin it.
They could definitely spin it, yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
My bowling team would be this. It'd be, you and me.
Oh, nice.
And the New Day.
Oh, man.
How much fun would that be?
All the fun.
Man, that'd be a lot of fun.
I really wanted it. When we retire, can we just freaking bowl?
Why do you have to wait till we retire?
Because I want to do like every day. Cool. Right on.
It's too bad there's not a bowling alley nearby. We can wrap up our work for the day.
I know.
Go play a game or two.
Like just across the street.
Yeah, just go spin it, man.
I'm going to go spin it. Like Jesus and Big Lebowski. Me and Liam? Liam. All right, moving on. Let's see here. We got
Young Liam.
Oh, speaking of Liam.
Young Liam Reborn. Let's see what Young Liam has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. This is Young Liam Reborn, giving you a video question, in which I shall give you guys a question, part of my $20 Patreon pledge, in which I shall give you guys a question, and you guys shall discuss it, depending on the question, the outcome, and you guys shall see what would be the best suitable answer, in which I have laid the question, and you shall guys do an answer. Here's the question. The question pertains to 16-time world champion John Cena, and in which, after SummerSlam, he comes back for something. I don't know. Maybe he's after done promoting Bumblebee, coming out this December. Will he be going against, in my opinion, WWE Champion Samoa Joe or Universal Champion Braun Strowman? Take the question, and you shall discuss it. Whoever has the best answer shall have the satisfaction of knowing that their answer was better.
Thank you, Young Liam Reborn. Leave the John Cena impressions to Larson, maybe. Okay. You know, it's not going to be gold every time. He had the David Putty Devil last week.
Great.
This week, not so much with the John Cena.
Putty was great, though.
Still, I love when people go out on a limb and try something new.
Creativity.
Creativity for Young Liam.
Well, who should John Cena come back and face number 17? Who you're going to say is the correct answer, but I'll try to make the case for Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman's a great answer.
He's a great answer, but I would prefer it. It depends if John Cena will be successful in this quest to claim number 17. If so, I think Samoa Joe would be the better answer, because I really don't see Strowman gaining much from being in a feud with John Cena, only to ultimately lose.
That's true.
Whereas Samoa Joe, I don't think it really affects him quite as much.
Yeah.
Negatively.
Yeah.
I think if the feud, though, is John Cena going after number 17 against Braun Strowman and throwing everything he can at Braun and coming up short as the first act of a longer story where he ultimately beats someone for number 17, I think that would be really effective.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have Braun, who is dominant, absolutely dominant, and you have Cena, who has a tendency to come into whatever show he's coming onto when he wants to have a title match and to say, hey, you have something that belongs to me.
Yeah.
That's generally his attitude. I'd like to see him try to do that against Braun, because it's not going to go well for John Cena.
No, yeah.
I think that'd be the interesting first act, but if Cena's going to go over Strowman for that title, no.
I'd be very, 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 very excited to see a promo off between Samoa Joe and John Cena.
Oh, yes, please.
I mean, that's, you can take this any number of ways. Samoa Joe, John Cena has always been company guy, WWE. Samoa Joe has only been in WWE for a short number of years. And so there is that big aspect of, we saw that sort of between AJ and Cena, Daniel Bryan and Cena, where they play up, the traveled around the world thing, meaning non-WWE wrestling. So that would be a lot of fun. And Samoa Joe, I think, would be, to imagine the promos between those two guys, it'd be very difficult for Cena to verbally outword Samoa Joe.
I know.
And
I know. It'd be phenomenal.
It'd be so much fun to watch.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then finally, last video question we have is from Y2 Jeremy. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, it's your boy, Y2 Jeremy, aka The Cancer Man, back with you with another video Matt Chat question. This is a tough one. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I want to discuss it. I have a theory that Vince McMahon hates Asian wrestlers. Now, go with me on this one. There always seems to be some sort of a glass ceiling when it comes to Asian wrestlers. Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble but loses to the white AJ Styles. They build the legend of Asuka only for her to lose to the white Charlotte Flair. You see where I'm going with this? Kenta gets brought in as Hideo Itami. He gets hurt, comes back, gets stuck at 205 Live. No belt. Kenzo Suzuki, the Bronze Warrior, Tajiri. Can you name the last Asian World or WWE champion? You can't. You can't. So, Does my theory hold water?
Thank you, Y2 Jeremy, coming at us with the controversy.
Y2 Jeremy.
I have a hard time. I don't know Vince McMahon. I wouldn't assume that he's racist. So I don't know. I think you mentioned this off camera. You said you just think that Vince, and I agree with this, Vince has what did you say, antiquated way of thinking about wrestling. And I think that's maybe why we haven't seen any Asian world champions. You mentioned Tajiri. He was cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, he was
champion of his
cruiserweight
division.
champion and light heavyweight champion and a tag team champion.
I thought for sure Shinsuke Nakamura was going to pick it up. I think under different circumstances they probably would have given it to Shinsuke Nakamura.
I think if AJ Styles hadn't gotten to be as popular as AJ Styles is, definitely.
And I even wonder if they had gone with like Roman Reigns on a video game cover. I do kind of wonder if the timing of the video game had something to do with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
So no, I don't know. I mean, it is unfortunate that we haven't seen a more prominent, Asian or Asian American in world champion role.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to defend the WWE's track record when it comes to their what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I'm talking about.
I think everybody knows what we're talking about here.
So I'm not going to defend them on that level, but I'm also not going to demonize them for their booking decisions. I think their booking decisions go far beyond race. I really don't think that it has much to do with that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I'm not in the booking room, so I can't really say. So yeah, we have a couple of text questions here. One from Tom Fox. He asks, does the Gargano-Ciampa feud have the potential to go down as one of the best storylines in WWE history? Yes, absolutely it does. I think it's almost already there.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I'd think...
Be hard for them to fumble the ball now.
Yeah. I mean, the only ones I can think of that really maybe top it, you got Hogan Macho Man, Mega Powers. You got Austin McMahon, which, of course, kind of wraps up Austin Rock as well.
Yeah.
Is there maybe CM Punk? Maybe
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But this is next level storytelling.
Yeah, this is
shit you'd expect out of New Japan.
Yeah, well, this is cinematic.
Yeah.
The use of metaphor and symbolism.
The details.
Which you don't really see in wrestling storytelling.
No, you don't.
I mean, when Ciampa was employing that crutch, it wasn't just a crutch. That meant something.
Yeah.
Same with the knee brace.
Yeah.
Especially that first match of theirs. Every little thing meant something. Even the second match. I'm interested to see how they employ all of these elements they've used so far in the third match, especially now since they've had to change course kind of last minute.
Yeah.
With Aleister Black getting hurt. So it'll be really interesting. And depending on how this match unfolds and plays out, I'd still be really surprised if Johnny Gargano ends up, or won by this point. Match had already happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've continually insisted that it has to come down to a point where Gargano has to choose between retaining some semblance or finding his humanity, becoming Johnny Wrestling again as we knew him, or really just turning completely to the dark side. And
Johnny Bastard.
And we're going to have like a double turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Johnny Bastard.
But then if the double turn happens, eventually we have to get to the point where Johnny has to reclaim or redeem himself, Because that's like the arc they're going on right now.
Telling you, man, 5 takeovers.
Could be.
A whole year worth of takeovers.
Could be.
And finally, we've got a text question from Dan Olding. Who will be the first British world champion in WWE? And as a bonus, which former British wrestler could have or should have been world champion? The answer there is easy.
Pete Dunne.
Oh, yeah. No, I was going to the second part of that question. William Regal.
Yeah.
The WCW world champion at least.
Yeah.
Maybe not WWE because there's a lot of big names there. But no.
Pete Dunne should be world champ at some point. Very soon. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne he's a freaking wrestling machine, dude. He is so good.
And he's young. He could, give him a couple years, put the world or the WWE title, the Universal title on him, and carry that belt for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I think we actually have one more question on the Patreon. Okay, so this last question is from Dylan Haggett, and he asks, which unsanctioned match was better, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from SummerSlam 2002 or Gargano Ciampa from TakeOver New Orleans? SummerSlam 2002, is that the street fight, his return match?
Sounds like
I think that was Shawn Michaels' return match, and it was a street fight. And it was that thing that it was like, oh my God, he's only gotten better since his time away. So let's see if that's the match that he's talking about.
Unsanctioned street fight.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh my gosh, they almost went a half hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the edge to Gargano Ciampa just because of the level of storytelling we were dealing with in that match, as I mentioned earlier. Symbolism, metaphor. It's stuff that I hadn't seen employed in wrestling before to that degree. So since they're operating on a different storytelling level, I'm going to give that one the nod.
I would probably... So I'm leaning towards what you're saying, but just for the sake of I haven't seen the street fight, but it is fairly legendary. I would say it's a wash because you have the history of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. You have his return. You have him pulling this out of the bag like, oh my God, this dude has stepped his game up after 4 years off. You have all that playing into that match on such a huge stage.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a wash.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Both the same.
I won't disagree with you.
Both the same.
I won't disagree with you.
Another great episode of Matt Chat in the Bag. Thanks so much, patrons, again. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson. $20 a month. You can get your face right here every week on Matt Chat or your text question right here on Matt Chat. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.